problems can happen at the TOEFL Testing Center or with your home test that will prevent you from being able to take a fair test, and you need to know what to do about it when these things happen. Now, there are a few videos out there that tell you what mistakes you can make while at the testing center or while taking the home test, but I'm the only one who's going to tell you what to do when it's not your fault and something happens at the testing center or with the TOEFL test that prevents you from being able to take a fair test and what you can do about it. Now listen, there are times when you're taking the TOEFL test that your computer freezes up. It's not your fault. It may be a problem with the computers at the testing center, or it may be a problem with their internet, or it may be a problem with the internet while you're taking the home test, and it will delay the test. Maybe it'll freeze up and you'll have 5 minutes or 10 minutes where the test isn't working. And then when the proctor comes and fixes everything and you go back into the test, you've lost that time. What do you do when that happens? It isn't your fault. But if you do things wrong at this moment, you will have to pay to test again. So what do you do so you don't have to pay to test again? Here's what you do. When you're taking the TOEFL test, if your computer has a problem, maybe the keyboard doesn't work, maybe your headphones don't work, maybe the microphone doesn't work, maybe the internet locks up. Whatever happens that stops you from being able to proceed with your test in a fair manner, I want you to stop. Raise your hand. Call for the proctor. Explain to them the problem. Tell them to report the problem to ETS and stop the test because the test is not fair. You have to tell them, I have to stop the test. The test isn't fair. The proctor is going to try to convince you to continue with taking the test. They want you to finish the test, and here's why. They don't get paid unless you finish the test. Let me say that again. The proctor, the people that are there watching you take your test, they don't get paid if you don't finish the test. So of course, they're going to encourage you to continue, to continue, to continue. And then as soon as you continue and you submit your scores at the end, you now have to pay to test again. In other words, if you stop the test and you make them report that there's been a problem and you refuse to continue, and you go out as quickly as you can, email ETS and let them know of the problem at the testing center, then they will credit you for that test so that you can take it again without paying. If you finish taking the test and you submit your scores, you will have to pay to test again, even though there were problems. You will have to pay to test again. So, again, when you have a problem, if you have a problem, make sure that you call the proctor, explain the problem, tell them that the test is not fair. I can't continue. Make them, because they're going to try to convince you with everything they can to get you to finish the test. But you tell them, no, you can't continue because the test isn't fair, and that you want to report it to ETS. Make sure that they report it. Get their name. Get the names of the people working there that day. Write everything down. Write it all down as quickly as you can. When you leave the testing center, go to your ETS account and report the problems that you had at the testing center and request that they give you credit for this test so that you can retest without paying again. Okay. Now there are things that you can do to prevent this from happening to you. Number one, if you're at the testing center, go early. Be the first people in. I can assure you that at almost every testing center, there are 1 or 2 computers that have issues. and the people at the testing center know that those computers have issues and they seat the last people in at those computers. You want to be the first person to go in the door and get the best computer. That will help a lot. It'll also help you because you'll get started before everyone else and there's fewer distractions. And this is important because when you're taking the TOEFL IBT, you're going to be in a nervous, high-stress situation. The fewer distractions, the better. So go early. Sign in early. Be sure to have your ID when you get there. Use the ID that you use to create your ETS account. That's very important. If you use your passport to create your ETS TOEFL account, take your passport with you to the center. If you've used your government-issued ID from your country, use that. If you have a United States driver's license and you use that to create your account, take that ID. Whatever you used to create your account, whatever ID you use to create your account, use that ID when you go to the testing center. Because if you don't, they won't let you take the test. Simple as that. Also, speaking of ID, whatever is on your ID, make sure that that information is exactly what you put on your TOEFL application, okay, on your TOEFL account. If your name is misspelled on your ID, misspell it the same way when you create your account. If your address has changed since you lived at the address on your ID, put the address that's on your ID on your TOEFL account. These are little things that I've learned over the years that you have to do. If your ID does not match the information on your TOEFL account, they will not allow you to take the test. They will not, and there's nothing you can do about it. So when you're creating your TOEFL account, whatever ID you're going to use, put that information that's on your ID on your account, and then when you go to the testing center, take the ID that you use to create your account with you so that you can take the test. Okay, at the home test, make sure that when you're setting up for the home test, that there will be no one disturbing you. If you're taking the test and someone comes into the room, your test will be canceled and you'll have to pay the test again. I'm just telling you, this will happen if you allow someone in your room. Also, when you're taking your test, you have to clear the area. There are very specific rules for setting up your room for taking the TOEFL home test. You must obey those rules. If you break any rule, the proctor will cancel your test and you'll have to pay again. So make sure that you know the rules and you obey the rules. That's a big part of the TOEFL IBT. It's know the rules, obey the rules. In my online course, that's what I teach you. TOEFL rules, TOEFL structures. Know the rules, know the structures, obey the rules. If you can do that, you can get a high score even if you have lower English skills. You can have excellent English skills and fail the TOEFL if you don't obey some of their rules or one of their rules. All right. Also, in the TOEFL home test, make sure that you have a solid connection to the internet. If you can, plug in directly to your internet, to your modem, so you have a solid internet connection, because if you lose connection, you're going to have a problem, right? The test keeps going on the internet. Even though you are not on the internet, the test could freeze up. You're losing that time, and it's no longer a fair test. But guess what? If it's your problem with the internet and not ETS's problem, you're going to have to pay to test again. So make sure you have a good computer that complies to all the things ETS requires of you. Make sure you have a strong internet connection. Make sure no one comes into the room. Make sure your desk is clear. Make sure you have no extra papers or anything around, because the proctor will tell you you have to clear your desk. Oh, and by the way, sign in 15 to 20 minutes early, because you have to go through all the process of showing the camera, showing your desk, showing the walls around you, showing that the door to your room is closed. You have to show the proctor everything in the initial sign in before the test starts. If you don't do that, the test will start without you and you'll lose that time. Make sure you sign in early. And if there's an issue, fix it early before it becomes a problem for you. Listen, I just want you to be able to get the TOEFL test done. And if there's any issues, I want you to be able to take it again with no charge. Be sure to tell the proctor to stop the test if there's any issues. Tell them that the test is no longer fair. Get their name and the names of the people that work there. Write a letter to ETS yourself reporting what happened and ask them for a credit to retake the test so that you can take it again without having to pay again. That's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If you've had this experience, let me know what's happened to you so that other people can share and we can see what do we do about it. Okay, if you need help passing your TOEFL, sign up for my online TOEFL video course. It's a very concise course. It is enhanced. It is designed to help you to pass your TOEFL economically and quickly, even if your English skills aren't the best. Okay, go ahead, click the link in the description below, get started, pass your TOEFL, get on with your life, enjoy your life, and I'll see you in the next video.